Everybody. Welcome to our DT sharing.
Hi. So today there's a lot of different passages. John 3:16 is the first one, very
Yeah, and
famous
this one
passage.
pretty much summarizes the gospel. I mean, this is the verse, right? Summarizes maybe all of Christianity. And just wanted to walk through it because I was personally just blessed just by reading through it and thinking about it and thinking about my own salvation because I think it just starts here with this basic gospel that, for God, that first it starts with God, that we have a creator, a maker God, that I have someone who made me and I'm not here by accident and I'm not some orphan on my own, and that he loved the world. And that's everyone, not just the religious or the special or the really righteous or good, but all people, even me, a sinner like myself. And I think also we see that there's a problem that we all have is that we're going to perish, not just physically, but spiritually, that there's a spiritual death that was awaiting us because we have rejected God. But there is an option for eternal life. But how do we get that eternal life? It's through who he gave his only son, that he gave us something that we couldn't get or earn on our own, but by believing in him. And I think that's something we're going to talk about today. But just the idea we believe in him, not in ideas or principles or simply like physics and formulas, but it's in the person of Jesus, and that He's the one who can save us, who died for my sins and took away the sins and the death that I deserved and gave me life. And as I just thought about that, I just felt really thankful because I thought, how am I here? And it's really by His grace and mercy, and it just made me appreciate this gospel message that has come to me. That's not something I deserve. So really, just personally struck by that as we started this time.
So I was thinking about what it means to believe in him because um, it's very clear that everything hinges on belief in him. Like what it says in John 3:16, that whoever believes in him should not perish. And then in Romans 1:16 to 17, it says, um, it is the power of God for salvation to everyone who believes. So even though it's offered to everybody, it hinges on the fact that we need to believe in Him. So what does that mean? And I was thinking, there are a lot of implications to what that means. It means really believing that Jesus is who He says He is, which is that He's the Son of God, that He has the ability to save us, that He wants to save us. But that also means that we have to believe what He says about us is true, that we're sinners, and that we actually need salvation. And I think those are things that we can intellectually assent to. And I was thinking about my own experience growing up in the church. Um, I knew I wasn't a Christian in the earlier years of my college years. I didn't know it before that, but I knew I wasn't a Christian. But I did believe that Jesus was the Son of God. I had a lot of intellectual beliefs, and that He came to save us. So, but I knew that I didn't really believe. So, what do I mean by that? What I realized was that what I really believed in was that money was the way to salvation, and that a good career would be my salvation, and a happy, whatever that meant, happy future, being married and stable. And that was kind of the vision of life that I was looking forward to. Those were the things that I really believed in. And one thing I was thinking about is that what we believe is actually what you do. So you have to look at what you do in order to figure out what you believe. And what I did was I invested all my time in thinking about my future. And so it was clear that that was what I believed. And I was thinking about that analogy that, we can all believe that planes fly. But then if you refuse to get on that plane, now we know what you really believe, which is that you don't believe in the plane, that it's safe to, fly on the plane. So anyway, I think we have to examine what we really believe. And even if we may have intellectual assent to a lot of these things about who Jesus is, we may not actually believe in who he is. And I was thinking the way that we get there is that, we have to actually see those things for what they are. So what helped me was to recognize that, man, all of these things that I hoped in actually were pretty bankrupt. And if I look at the lives of people who pursued those things, what is the end result of their life? It's actually isolation, loneliness, broken relationships. And I realized, wow, that is not the way to life. And I really need to um, see those things for what they are, which is that it's a lie that I've been believing in, and that what Jesus is saying is actually true. He is the only way to life. And so, we need to get to a sense of disappointment regarding the things that we actually believed in.
Yeah, just picking up from John 14, then what we're talking about is that there are different ways in life to live. There's different roads that we come across, and Jesus is one road, and he's saying, "I'm the way. This is the way to life." And I thought sometimes, we're on that road with him, but we're only there just sometimes kind of along for the ride in the beginning. And then when we realize, oh, that's we just happen to be kind of walking in the same direction, but then actually our road is it veers off and it goes toward those other things like money, comfort, things like that. So he's saying only by being with him in that relationship and staying with him do we really experience that life. Another part that I thought about was from Romans 1:17, the righteous shall live by faith. And as I was thinking, how would I really complete that sentence for myself? I would say the righteous, they live by good deeds. And I think that's the way that I grew up. Growing up in the church, I thought you're saved by being a good person and doing good things. And I was the good little boy that followed all the rules and crossed my T's and dotted my I's. And I thought that's what it means to be a righteous person. And for sure enough, I mean, it's important. There's a moral rightness and morality by which we should live, but that's not what saves us by being good. And I think recently I was just thinking about different stories like the crucified crook or Zacchaeus and or the 11th hour worker. And I thought, those stories about grace. It's not about what you earn or how much you do to receive God's love. It's the fact that we can all just admit, man, I'm just a sinner and I can't do it on my own. Like Zacchaeus, who just realizes, man, he's the greatest of sinners, and then you experience a salvation. So I was just thinking, our righteousness again is not by deeds, it's not by works or trying to prove we're good people. Otherwise, the gospel would really not be powerful or meaningful for us. So I was just thinking about that. Um, Now, one other thought I was thinking about in terms of belief is a famous story from Blondin. I mean, that one kind of is neater. Blondin was a tightrope walker who crossed the Niagara Falls. This is a real story with a tightrope, and he put it across the section of the Niagara Falls. And he would walk across by himself, tightroping back and forth. And people were like, "Who believes that I can do this?" And they're like, we believe." And he cooked like eggs on there once. He's like that good. And then he goes, "All right, how many of you believe that I could take a person across from here?" And they're like, we believe." And then he's like, "Okay, who of you will come and join me?" No one would. So it's like belief, it has to be consummated with actually obeying and following through. So just kind of thought that story was kind of neat to remind me of. So anyway, just wanted to end with that. So all right, that's it for today.
Yay. Bye, guys.
Bye.